Hi, I'm Greg McCoach here at the Metal Investor Forum in Vancouver, Canada in January 2018. Today I'm with Chairman Bill Sheriff of Golden Predator Mining Corp, and we're going to catch up with Bill today on what's happening at their Three Aces gold discovery up in the southern Yukon. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's exciting to see the people here at the show. Where there's genuine excitement, I think, for exploration companies, and the monies are flowing in our direction. So I think we're going to make money.
Yeah, a bit of a revival, especially for the better projects.
Yeah, I agree. So let's get everybody updated on what you're doing with Three Aces. We've done two separate interviews in the last, 6 months. Last time we did Janet, who is the CEO and president of Golden Predator Mining Corp, in our last interview here at the Metals Investor Forum. This time Bill's going to take the reins and get us updated on what the company's doing for 2018.
Great. Well, after a very active year, when you were up there, you got to see a bit of it. We're up to almost 300 drill holes now. We've covered the initial pass drilling on about 13 square kilometers of soil anomalies. And we've drilled on wide spacing, we've drilled on narrow spacing, we've learned a few things. And chief among those is the structural model that the entire district is formed under. And it's actually a relatively simple system in that, in fact, it's best explained with a prop.
That's great.
Assume you have sedimentary rocks that are flat, sandstones, mudstones, shales, everyone's familiar with conglomerates. And during a period of thrusting and folding, these rocks are folded into what we call an anticline. And as the fluids migrate up from the depths, they tend to concentrate along the edges of the fold and at the crest. And what we have at Three Aces is essentially a 40-kilometer long anticline or fold that has laid down on itself so that it's almost horizontal. It's very shallowly dipping.
Yeah.
And then it's been eroded away. So what you end up with are the two layers of rock that have been cut away, and this is where your gold is.
Yeah.
And we've got this trend along 40 kilometers. You get very high-grade concentrations in certain areas, and that's where you have either cross structures within the beds or other folds on top of the folds. Anything that disrupts the flat planar geometry allows for open space, and that's where you get the high-grade accumulations of gold.
Yeah.
And so this year's program, we're looking at doing about 17,000 meters of drilling. And most of that will be diamond core drilling as opposed to this year's drilling, which was largely reverse circulation.
Last year, 2017, right?
Yes. So 2018 will feature mostly diamond drilling.
Diamond drill.
And that is because it gives us a better ability to control the drill holes as we get through these major structural zones. Because as demonstrated with the yellow limbs of this, they're very, when you fold it, you break it up, and it's moved on itself. So these are very much broken zones, which has allowed the gold-bearing fluids to come into place.
Right.
So they're difficult to drill through. With the diamond core rig, we'll be able to get better, more controlled penetration.
Yeah.
We'll also be stepping out on the limbs of this anticline with much bigger offsets on our drilling. Nothing closer than 100 meters, and in fact, a lot of 300 and 500 meter offsets.
Offsets. So yeah, that was my next question, really. With a project this big, with a target this big, right? I mean, this is a district scale, and this part of the project, 40 kilometers long that we're talking about. What's the strategy? How do you go about trying to build what the market needs?
Well, piece by piece, and we've done a good job establishing high-grade mineralization and in fact lower-grade stockwork mineralization in between various pods within the central core area, which is where you visited, right across the river, not far from the road.
Right.
What we're going to be concentrating on this year is expanding that zone, and which is obviously you start where you know the most and you move out. But we're going to try and expand that and hopefully be in a position by the end of the year to be looking at a resource study to start. At the same time, we have just recently, within the last quarter, concluded acquisition of 100% ownership of the Sproggie project, which is the southern end of the Three Aces. It's on the other side of the road, south side of the road. If you look at all of our maps, it's been on our maps for a long time because we've had it optioned. But the terms of the option weren't favorable enough to inspire us to do a lot of work on it or talk about it much. But you can see it as a huge soil anomaly, and it's essentially untested. The work we did this year indicate that the grades there may, in fact, at least surface grades are higher than what we saw at Three Aces proper in the central core area. So in the summer, we'll begin drilling there. Here again with the diamond core rig to start with, to establish the larger parameters. Once we make a new discovery or define a high-grade ore area, we'll go in with the reverse circulation rigs and do infill drilling as needed.
Right, and it seems like you're probably going to have pockets of potential open pit mines along several places.
Indeed, as well as the obvious potential of high-grade underground on the limbs of this fold as you follow them down.
Get to the bottom, yeah.
So it's got the best of both worlds in that regard. You've got high-grade at the surface, you've got low-grade connecting the high-grade pods.
Yeah.
And these pods themselves could be on the order of hundreds of thousands of ounces potentially.
Well,
they need more drilling, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we always need more drilling. And you got money to pay for that, or how are we doing on the Treasury?
We have a large number. Obviously, at some point in 2018, we'll need to do a financing.
Okay.
But we've certainly got enough to get well underway.
Yep.
And we have a number of warrants coming into play here in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
And still have sufficient cash in the Treasury to get going.
Yeah.
So it should be a pretty exciting year.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. In the newsletter, The Mining Speculator, you're my #1 exploration stock, have been. The stock ran from 12 cents in 2015 all the way up to where did we get, 210?
Yeah, just over $2.
Just over $2. We've since retraced all the way back to 65, up to 81, 75 right now, 75 cents?
About 80 cents,
80 cents.
80 cents. It's in that range. And I think as we unmask more and more of the details on Sproggie, which is it's the next logical target because it's 8 kilometers. Here again, adjacent to the road, we have road building permits so we can access it readily, which is of course what we'll start on. And the major objective at the end of this year is to not only start working towards resource definition in the area we've been working, but to link it up with the Sproggie, which is 8 kilometers away on the limb of that yellow folded piece of paper that I was presenting. Yeah. You're starting to talk about world-class systems if we're
absolutely.
able to link that up.
Yeah, and in the Mining Spectre, I've listed it as a strong buy. I don't often, those who know me and know my newsletter, I don't do many strong buys, but I can't help but do this for Golden Predator because of what I see, what they've already accomplished, and where I see the stock going on a better exploration market, on a better gold market. So
well, and quite frankly, under a greatly enhanced technical team led by Rex Bromaker that we've brought on, who was the worldwide Greenfields Exploration Senior VP for Anglo.
Oh my gosh.
He just takes it to another couple of orders of magnitude in terms of
talk about it.
And has really crystallized the model for us and has laid our exploration plans going forward.
That's exciting. Yeah, I'm all in on Golden Predator. Everybody, any other things you want to cover?
Come back and see us again. It's exciting, and the bulk samples are proceeding as planned, and it's always nice to see a little end product along the way to hopefully building a world-class system here.
Yeah, no, we have the production facility that's producing gold from the.
Well, it does from the bulk sample, and it's always nice to hold a piece of gold at the end of the day. But more importantly, it provides us at no cost to the company. In fact, a bit of a positive revenue.
Yeah.
Lots of metallurgical information on each of the zones.
Yeah.
Companies that have been working on a project for a year or two seldom have the depth of metallurgical knowledge of the system that we do. And we're ahead, well advanced on that.
Yeah.
And we'll be systematically testing each of the different zones that way with the bulk sample. So we'll be that much further ahead on it, and that's important on your permitting as well.
When it gets you an answer about your metallurgy quickly, and that's what I like about it. It's very unusual to have this kind of situation in your exploration story where you're at, but it's wonderful to have that, and it adds to the value proposition, I think, for Golden Predator, and why I think Golden Predator in 2018 is probably going to hit a new high. So on that note,
hope you're right.
Yep.
I look forward to it. Thanks, Greg.